were just seeing there with Libby Dean, Trump speaking openly about a potential running mate today. What are you making of his comments?
Well, I'm not surprised that he's ruling out Nikki Haley. I always thought Haley was a very long shot, given the fact that she was his most serious rival for the Republican nomination. It would be uncharacteristic of the former president to choose someone as a running mate who clearly has her own ambitions and obviously has been very critical of him in the past. So I wasn't particularly shocked by that.
Oh, sorry, I don't think my mic was open. Niall, this is so interesting because Nikki Haley has been out of the presidential race for months. Still this week, she garnered nearly 22% of the vote in the Indiana Republican primary. What does this mean, Niall? And does Trump have a Nikki Haley problem still?
I think he has a protest vote problem or a Republicans who aren't content with him as their nominee problem. And it's really interesting you bring this up, Natasha, because I think there has been a lot of media coverage on the other side, as there should be, to be fair, of the uncommitted vote in Democratic primaries perceived as a pro-Palestinian vote against President Biden. But the numbers voting for Haley, who doesn't anymore have a campaign, in the Republican primary are actually a bit higher in percentage terms. To me, what that points out is Republican voters who are just not reconciled to Donald Trump as their nominee. To be clear, he is going to be the nominee. The question is, do those people decide in the end to get on the Trump train, however reluctantly, come November?
Let's talk about potential Trump VPs. One odds maker is putting Tim Scott at the top of the list right now, followed by Doug Burgum, Tulsi Gabbard, and Marco Rubio. Right now, Niall, would this be your top four?
I don't know I'd have Doug Burgum as high as that, but I think Tim Scott is a possibility. The person who isn't mentioned there in that graphic is J.D. Vance, the senator from Ohio. I think that he has something of a chance. Two things I would say, Natasha. One, predicting what former President Trump does is almost always a fool's errand. And secondly, up until approximately 2 weeks ago, lots of us thought that Kristi Noem was a genuine contender until she blew herself up with that extraordinary run of terrible TV interviews for her in the recent past.
And Niall, one more thing. I know you've been following the former president's hush money case very closely. We saw Florida Senator Rick Scott attending the trial on Thursday. He stepped to the mic during a break. I want to take a quick listen with you.
The judge's daughter is a political operative and raises money for Democrats. You've got the lead prosecutor's wife is a significant donor to Democrats, and I think to Biden. So this is just a bunch of Democrats saying, we want to make sure that Donald Trump can't talk.
Okay, so these types of comments would probably be flagged by prosecutors if Trump were to have said them. Are we seeing Mr. Trump making Scott a sort of proxy here?
Yeah, I think we are. I mean, that's an interesting tactic, really. It's a tactic that's used in other forms of politics where you have a cutout, so to speak, a body double, someone who is saying the things that, for whatever reason, it isn't acceptable for you to say. That's what we saw Rick Scott do in that clip that you just played. And I suspect we will see more of that because it at least enables the Trump side to get their viewpoint across in ways that they're otherwise constrained from doing under the terms of the gag order.
Niall Stanage, it is so good to see you again. Thank you so much for your time, as always. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.